So, when trauma has been repeated, relational trauma has been repeated, then the nervous system often learns to protect itself by turning away. So, turning away can look like emotional numbing, avoidance, disconnection, or self reliance. These are not signs of weakness or avoidance, they are protective strategies that develop over time. In this video series, we'll explore how turning away forms and why it once made sense. So, for many trauma survivors, the environment we grew up in caused the instinctive defenses to turn on over and over. The fight, flight, freeze, submit, attachment cry. And when these instinctive defenses are on too often, it becomes difficult to think clearly, to concentrate, and to learn. This results in a dilemma. Our fight, flight, freeze, submit, and attachment defenses are wired to protect us, but if they are on all the time, they make it difficult to learn what we need to learn and do what we need to do in order to grow and function effectively. So, trauma survivors resolve this dilemma in an amazing way because our brains and bodies are amazing. So they turn their attention away from their instinctive defenses and tune them out. I don't want to be in my fight response or my submit people pleasing response. So I'm just going to turn it out along with whatever triggers me. So anytime I felt trapped, I'm just going to ignore it. So they do this by hyper focusing on other things. So, for example, they might watch a lot of TV, internet, they might get lost in their books. They listen to a lot of music or they master something really good, being a perfect student, a perfect athlete, musician, artist, top video game player, whatever. They master it because that helps them turn away. Turning away from triggers. The first time I felt trapped, the second time, turning away from that trapped feeling or that alone feeling, turning away from my fight responses, fight, submit responses, helps us be less distracted by them. And this helps increase our ability to focus on other things, like learning to grow and function. So your mind is brilliant. If you don't have anybody there to help you, it will figure it out. And it figures out to turn away from. So the instinctive defenses, they make a lot of noise. Help! I'm pissed off. What's wrong with me? I'm horrible. I'm a bad person. Please help me. I don't know what to do. I'm frozen. I'm paralyzed. I'm in panic. So, too much of this noise makes it hard to think and function and go on with daily life. It's just too hard. So, the solution, they turn away. They turn away and try not to notice the noise and they focus on other things. It's brilliant. It works mostly. Now it's easier to function in daily life. So if I'm in a relationship and I hear all they're triggering me, I'm going to turn away from that trigger. I'm going to turn away from my response and I'm just going to go about my daily life. So turning away is a strategy that also grows over time. So when you were little, it was a good thing. It helped you until you're an adult and you're in a relationship and your strategy is to turn away. Unfortunately, turning away is a strategy that grows and expands over time because it is such a successful strategy for tuning out distress. Trauma survivors quickly learn to use it as a way to deal with all kinds of difficult feelings and painful stimuli, not just overwhelming ones. In this way, turning away gradually becomes the brain's go-to action plan for feeling better, especially if there are no other options available for calming down. However, the more turning away is used, the more generalized and habituated it becomes. Over time, this affects the brain's ability to deal with negative emotions and sensations in general. Gradually, it develops a fear of negative emotions and pain, sensing that it cannot handle any feeling without getting overwhelmed. This growing sensitivity to disturbance feeds the brain's dependence on turning away. Eventually, turning away can become a primary mechanism for staying in the window of tolerance, taking on a life of its own. I remember I met somebody that if they ever had if they got overwhelmed, they literally turned to you and went, I got to go to bed. And they went to bed and went straight to sleep. And at first I was like, this is the strangest thing. Then I realized, oh, it's a turning away strategy. They got overwhelmed. They couldn't handle it. So they could literally just turn over and or walk out of the room and say, I got to go to bed. It was a turning away strategy. It's common for turning away to evolve into an ever increasing avoidance of the world. Trauma survivors may notice themselves turning away from more and more feelings, situations, and sensations, as well as many aspects of life that they once enjoyed or handled with ease. For example, they may start avoiding people they once knew, places they once visited, or activities they once valued. This growing avoidance is a symptom and cause of post-traumatic decline, a condition in which post-traumatic symptoms begin to increase while the ability to function diminishes. Turning away is a natural life-saving strategy. I want you to remember that. It is very helpful. However, if it's used repeatedly and goes unchecked, it can develop into a general phobia of feeling anything. And when this happens, turning away itself becomes the source of new social, emotional, cognitive, and physical problems. So you keep turning away, and then you end up isolated and you end up lonely. You don't have that attachment that you want. And then you reach out to be close, but then you're scared because it's going to hurt you. So then you avoid, and then you get in the loop. And this is what your insides may look like. So here you are on your bed, absolutely isolated, turning away from your trauma responses, turning away from anything that triggered you, and you stop looking at what's all in these boxes: neediness, shame, losses, disappointment, powerlessness, resentment, emptiness, despair, rage, fears, feelings, longings, despair. I'm not sure what that says. I think hallucination or humiliation, tragedies, losses, homework. You're just turning away from everything in despair, physical pain, rage, fears, conflict with family. If left unchecked, turning away can evolve into an ever increasing avoidance of life. This leads to new social, emotional, cognitive, and physical problems. So let's stop on this page for right now. And why don't you pause and take a few minutes to look at it and see the things that you may be turning away from. And the things that we're turning away from are things that need to most likely be processed. And remember, turning away helped when there was no other choice, and it deserves respect for the role it played. Absolutely. Don't villainize yourself. You were doing the best you could given the circumstances you had. Over time, however, these strategies can keep us disconnected from ourselves and others and the present moment. Healing doesn't mean forcing ourselves forward, excuse me, forcing ourselves toward pain. It means developing new ways to approach experience with safety, support, and choice.